What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reviewing and breaking down The Flash Season 9, Episode 8. So guys, the episode starts with a look ahead to the year 2123, where we see a hooded figure try to steal something from the Flash Museum weapons vault before an alarm sounds, and this hooded character just like jumps into a time portal. But also in this this future time, it says that there's supposed to be an inspection done at Star Labs on April 5th, 2023, which of course is today. Then we see Barry and Iris in present day at the loft where they're getting ready for Nora to be born. We also see Iris give Barry a magazine with Henry Allen on it. It was like an old doctor's magazine, and obviously Henry was a doctor, so that was actually pretty cool. He will be appearing later in the season, so yeah, that should be pretty cool to see as well. So as we saw in the first scene of the episode, there was a Star Labs inspection scheduled for today, and Barry and Iris are just trying to hide from all these inspectors that, you know, Barry is the Flash and all that stuff. But when Barry is leading the inspection people to where they want to go, they end up right where they just were, the Speed Lab. And then it happens again. They try to leave the Speed Lab and they just end up right back inside of it. They also notice a grandfather clock just randomly sitting in the Speed Lab, and it was they find out it was from like the past, and obviously that means it was displaced from another point in time. Barry also says he wants to run to the future to try and figure out how they escape from the Speed Lab, which would have been really cool if we got to see some time travel. But taking a break from a little bit of that stuff, I want to go over one other thing that happened, and we also see basically one of the worst scenes of The Flash ever, with Allegra and Chester. I'm not even going to describe it because it was just awful, but just know I was shaking from cringe. It was so bad. But anyways, then going back to Barry and Iris at Star Labs, when Barry tries to time travel, instead it's like the past comes to the present as like everyone becomes dressed like Star Wars characters. So obviously Barry and Iris are just standing there with some very confused inspectors. So Barry decides to tell them that he's the Flash so he can explain everything. And although that scene was kind of funny, it's still a little ridiculous that Barry is just telling his identity to some random inspectors. But anyways, then we find out that the reason this is happening is because there's a future time magnet in present day. So that first scene we saw in 2123, I believe it was that hooded character stole a future time magnet and brought it to present day. And obviously, yeah, they forgot to bring a stabilizer for it as well, which we find out in the episode. So that's why Barry and company just can't leave the Speed Lab. That's why all these other things are getting displaced throughout time. So they all come to the conclusion that this hooded character has to be one of them. They start calling this hooded character a time thief. And before we can find out exactly who it is, one of the inspectors just got erased and turned into a statue. So they're starting to replace people with items from the past. Then we also find out that one of the inspectors was the time thief, or the hooded character from earlier in the episode, and she looks incredibly creepy, I will not lie. So we find out that the time thief calls herself Lady Kronos. Now, obviously, Kronos was a character on Legends in like season 1, but he was actually Mick Rory. So I have no idea if like this is supposed to have any connection to that whatsoever. But I just thought I'd mention that just in case. Anyways, this Lady Kronos wants Barry to get her out of this time loop because she's also stuck. Her belt is what helps her time travel, I guess, and it, for whatever reason, lost a charge, so that's why she couldn't get out. But Barry charges it up with his lightning, and she's then able to time travel and put the time magnet back where it belongs. So she just randomly becomes like a good person instead of being a thief, which doesn't really make sense. And then time goes back to normal, and then the inspectors just act like nothing has happened, and they start inspecting again. They also cannot remember that Barry is the Flash. Okay, so do you guys remember earlier in the video where I said that there was probably the worst scene I've ever seen with Chester and Allegra earlier in the episode? The end of the episode had an even worse scene with Chester and Allegra. I am not kidding. Oh, it was just awful. I don't know. This is probably the worst Chester and Allegra episode we've ever had, ever. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that with all that. So that was basically the episode right there, guys. Now, was this a bad episode? Not necessarily. I mean, it wasn't good. It definitely wasn't good, but I guess it wasn't bad. The thing that really makes me mad is that they're doing this in Season 9, right? This episode should not be in Season 9. This is maybe like a Season 7, Season 8 episode, but Season 9 should be all fan service. This is not fan service whatsoever. Barry didn't even time travel. I mean, he tried to, but he just couldn't really do it, and then what they tried to do instead just wasn't as entertaining. So this episode, I would probably say is like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. It was incredibly mid, and I just hate that the fact that they're doing this in season 9. Luckily, if you guys saw my video earlier, episode 9 is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully episode 10, 11, 12, 13 are all going to be amazing as well. I bet they will. But yeah, this episode, the first 8 episodes of season 9 have not been very good whatsoever. I guess one thing I did kind of enjoy about the episode was the fact that the Flash Museum did return. Barry actually talked about like the future. There was some time travel stuff involved. But other than that, this episode was not very good. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your thoughts on the episode. What did you guys think of it? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.